This Farrier F25C trimaran we're restoring has not been in the water in 24 years, and finally here tonight we're going to change that for you. First up was a mad scramble to finish all the last details, including painting the foils and getting them installed. Here's the boat in road-going form. We've got this plate that locks away mast rotation for raising and lowering. The bowsprit's hiding inside there. It's not fully finished yet. Trailering strap. That stand is holding the mast. Nets are done. The nets fold up. The cap shrouds ride nice and easy. Oh, this is a great win. So the new position of the chain plates means that we don't have to adjust the cap shrouds for the positions of folded boat mast up and opened up boat mast up. We're able to swing the floats in and out with the same cap shroud position. So that worked. This unfortunately is the section of the mast I broke on Raven's Wing in 2018 or 2017. 2017. The last piece of that mast. Trailer got all new lights, fenders rehabbed. Got all surface rust off and spot spray painted. Redid a bunch of carpeting on the bunks. Rebuilt it had rollers for the front half of the main hull. And I took the rollers out and redid all this with a big 2x12 board the boat sits on. This is F27 Origami's first standing rig. Some wire from that. Once the mast is stood up and in storage, I'll paint all that. We're pretty thrilled. She needs a little more non-skid, and we got to figure out some graphics instead of just plain white. Okay, success. All that 11 months on and off labor paid off. Right now we're going to sail. Peace. And with a new day, my daughter-in-law and son helped me tow the boat about 10 miles up to the Petaluma River launch, and we got going. About 11 months of rehab, first day on the water. We're going really conservative. Nothing on the main side, and a little tiny heavy weather jib. We're cruising down the Petaluma River, maybe 4 knots or so. We got the dragon motors. Taylor's handling the helming duties. Griffin's in charge of sail trim. Oh, yeah. I'm doing nothing. Boat's looking like it's supposed to. We stood the mast up on the water. That was straightforward. Still got to get some lacing done here. This adjustable lacing worked really well. Just undo that for folding the boat. Super peaceful. Until the ravens start talking. What's going on? I'll take the boat to Richmond tomorrow and get our first real sailing in, hopefully. All in all, super happy with the job. I think I just got my first look at this boat's new race crew, and that's a very good thing. And with the boat back on the trailer, I got up early the next day and towed over to the East Bay to Richmond. Got her ready for a day of sportier sailing. Alright, Rick and Dave helped me get her rigged. Launched in Richmond, got our little jib up. We've reefed our main because it's blowing 20 outside here. 10 to 12 zephyrs inside the harbor. We got moving really fast out there, so Rick asked us to turn around and have a smart first sail. Yeah. He's talking about PlayStation here. Steve Fawcett's record-setting catamaran. The rig is gone. It became a photo boat. Filmed the Morning Light Disney movie of the kids doing the Transpac race about 10 years back. Oh, shoot, all right. You're gonna make me work. I thought Rick was gonna handle the tack. Ready? Yep.
Watch the power boat there.
Thanks. Hey, I gotta go a little further around.
Okay.
Okay,
Tack it back.
yep, I'm gonna power through with the jib. Okay, there you go.
Oh, that is a monster.
Yeah, it's like 105 or 110 feet.
125.
125.
Because they added 20 feet to it.
Well, that means if they added 20 feet, they moved the...
They changed the beam, the full beam. Yeah, they did a lot.
This wind sort of pitching straight down the chest.
You can come up higher though. I can feel it. There it is. All right, let's get out of here. That's Orion. One of the Mod 70s we have, and there's the other one that's lost its sponsor. We don't know what this blue boat is. Ooh. Oop, sail tie. Good, we lift the bows out. Nice. Jib sail tie down there. Oh well. She's light. Huge thanks to Rick and Dave for coming out on day one. Brave volunteers. Just packing up after a great first reel sailing. We had single reef in the main and the small jib. It was honking up into the upper 20 gusts. But then down in the Richmond estuary, we got into the nice 10s and easy sailing. Ready for trailering, mast is down. That's my temporary mast tower in the back. It's not working too well. We have to do a lot of guy wire stuff. We're gonna make a proper Corsair style ladder frame in the back. But some of you guys are wondering what's going on the inside of this boat, and the answer is nothing. The first builder did put these benches in, but it's just a bare shell in the back. And then rolling forward, it's all still the raw carbon skins. It's all a platform up above, structural platform. There's the bowsprit coming through the hole in the front. And we don't know what we're gonna do in here yet. I think I'd like to make room for some kind of a toilet, even if it's just a bucket with a proper seat, and a bit of galley stuff, a place to put an ice chest anyway. So we'll do some reorganizing here next year. Right now, it's just a lightweight sailboat. No electrics in here. I'll have to figure out a battery and the basics of running lights. Maybe a bit more. But outside, she's nice and comfy. Loved the Traveler system. Got the windward sheeting car working perfectly. And these guys are awesome. The little adjusters for the corners of the nets. This let us have a nice tight net at the corners when the boat's unfolded, but also you loosen all this and it lets the folding mechanism work properly. Same thing up there. Just gotta deal with the tails that are too long. The synthetic rigging worked perfectly today. It did have its creep. I had to tighten it when we got back to the dock. Main sheet, I don't really like the 6-to-1 plus the little 4-to-1 mini, so I think I'm gonna replace all of that with a fresh set of 8-to-1 blocks. And cap shrouds easily bundled up for trailering. This is so much easier than the F27. Dealing with the rig, the mast is so light I can move it around by myself pretty easily. And a super happy first day here in Richmond in Marina Bay. It was very windy today. It was a good trial. Everything worked just fine. Love the steering. Steering is so responsive. Cool boat. This thing's gonna last. Raven's wing out. And then it was time to drive up to Port Angeles, Washington, hop the ferry over to British Columbia, and drive on up to Cowichan for the Cow Bay Regatta, where I got to crew for Gabe and Sunny on F27 Mahana. They're a great team to sail with, and I think Sunny was the only female driver in a very competitive multi-hull fleet. Skipper Gabe let me call some tactics, and I got to do all the spinnaker trimming, and we earned a hard-fought win in the B group of multi-hulls. Thanks again, Mahana! On the way home, I stopped in Port Townsend at Russell Brown's boat build shop to trade some F25 takeoff gear for two-part windsurfer masts. And now we're going to build a proper mast support tower. Step one was a hole saw on the drill press to cut the skinny top ends of the mast into cross braces. Those cross braces were thickened epoxy glue tabbed onto the support poles. I took my 12-inch wide roll of unidirectional carbon fiber and separated out individual strand groupings about 18 inches long. Those groupings or toes were wet out of the table and then brought to the tubing and wrapped in a crisscross style. This is just like ancient Polynesian methods to me, or building a James Warren catamaran with its lashings. So once the new framework had cured, I brought it to the boat to look for a good spot in the aft deck that would not interfere with the rudder gudgeon reinforcements. And thanks to Russell Brown's great idea of using a two-part windsurfer mast, we took the very top of the lower part of the mast and stuck that in the deck, while the tower was made from the upper section of the mast that would sleeve in perfectly to the bottom section. So these two tubes with the labels are the sockets that are now bonded to both the deck and the hull. Also up on deck, I bonded on a larger carbon flat stock load-bearing ring that'll take the weight directly. And once again, it was time for another little fairing job and some paint. Back over on the tower, took G10 tubing to make the axle housing up at the top. Same process, bond the tube in with the thickened epoxy, let that cure, and then use the uni fibers to create the spiral wraps. The next day it was cutting the axle housing to the width of the new roller, then fabricating a nice tight fit aluminum axle. Finally we added some brackets for additional tail lights, then sanded away all the epoxy work, and utilized somebody else's discarded gray all grip. Thank you. This thing fits on the boat perfectly, and I promise to get it on video next time we hit the road. Tomorrow, Ruby and I are going to launch the boat and give it a try single-handing. I can say that because the chocolate dog is very entertaining. She's not a big help actually sailing. Hey, thanks for watching, folks. Have a good night.